Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast of the Del Carmen Foundation. Today, I'm excited to welcome an incredible organization, Soles4Souls. In 2023, they donated 324 new pair of shoes to us, impacting many lives and bringing hope to children in need in Venezuela. We are so grateful for their support. We are honored to have Tiffany Turner, Vice President of Outreach at Soles4Souls, with us today. Tiffany, thank you for joining us. And on behalf of our entire team, Venezuela, Philadelphia, and people who support our cause, thank you for helping us to make a difference. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us on the podcast today. We're honored.
Thank you. So let's start. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA. That is where the headquarters of Soles4Souls is. I've been living in Nashville for 23 years. I'm originally from South Carolina, from a small town of less than 200 people.
Oh, wow.
And Nashville's a pretty big city. I have a wonderful husband. I've been married for 9 years. My husband is a musician. That's his full-time job. And I, at one time, was full-time in the music industry too. I'm a singer. And just the funny part is I always swore I'd never marry or date a musician. I married one. But in our house, I work remote upstairs, and in our basement is a full recording studio. So when my husband's not on the road, there's music being recorded, played downstairs. And I've been with Soles4Souls full time for 14 years. Absolutely love it. I've been able to travel to over 14 countries through the work that we do. And yeah, just absolutely love it. So that's a little bit about me.
Great. And how did Soul4Souls start?
Yeah. So we are coming up on our 20th year as a nonprofit, which is really unbelievable. Soles4Souls started out of an organic outreach effort and conversation that began in 2004 around providing relief through shoes to those impacted by the tsunami that hit Thailand, parts of Indonesia, that whole area. The founder of the organization was in the footwear industry and realized that people were lacking shoes and clothing. They had lost everything. Reached out and was able to gather some donations of shoes and get them over there through people he knew that did international mission work. Fast forward to when Katrina hit, almost a year later, they did something very similar and realized at that point, between those two natural disasters, they served almost 250,000 people, that there was a bigger conversation to be had. Obviously, there was not a leading organization just giving away footwear or making sure that that was something that was tangible for people in need. They did some research on statistics of poverty, and when you're in abject poverty, you lack critical needs, just such as proper shoes and clothing. And so that's really how Soles4Souls was born. We became a nonprofit in 2006, moved into an office, I believe, in 2007. Fast forward to today, we have over 80 employees in 22 different states, 5 different countries. We have a half a dozen warehouses around the world, and we have distributed over 112 million units of shoes and clothing in almost 20 years.
So you have impacted so many lives around the world, and including Venezuela. 324 children were so happy to receive new pair of shoes. It gives them hope. And it's beautiful what you do. But also, you help Philadelphia too. Could you please tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we are a global nonprofit. We work around the world. Whether that's in our backyard in the United States or that is in countries like Venezuela and Africa, and other areas. We have several different programs. within our organization that does what we say provides opportunity to people. And opportunity through our programs can look anything like some of the examples I'm about to give. Opportunity for us can mean that we get a pair of shoes to someone who has just lost their home because of a hurricane, or someone who is unhoused. Opportunity can mean that we provide shoes to entrepreneurs in emerging markets to resell and make a living for themselves and provide their children with education and food and housing. Opportunity can also mean for us that our students in the United States and in Canada who are in extreme poverty, who are experiencing homelessness, who lack the things that they need to be able to have an successful educational experience, they get sneakers and socks from us. And so one of the things that we do in Philadelphia is we partner with the school district and work with their homeless education team and make sure that kids who are living in shelters, are living in motels or hotels, or have housing instability, which correlates with a decrease in attendance and involvement in school. We make sure that those shoes have a resource, those students have a resource for shoes, which in turn can enhance their experience and their engagement in the classroom.
How important it is for kids to feel secure, right? Wearing
Yeah.
a nice pair of shoes, and it gives them strength to continue. Because I remember when I was a kid, when I had my shoes, my pretty shoes, I was happy to go to school and give me confidence. And
Yeah.
it's what you guys give confidence to children in it. So that's beautiful program that you have in Philadelphia and all the states, right, in USA?
It's in every state now in the United States. We have a lot of growing room with this program, but yeah, we are finally in every state in the United States, which is very exciting.
And you do like in Philadelphia once a year? Do you?
So, most of our school partners, the program is called For Every Kid. Like I said, we have multiple programs within our organization to accomplish our mission. And the program specifically that I was talking about for students experiencing homelessness is called For Every Kid. Typically, when we work with a school district or a community partner for that program, they receive shoes from us at least once a year so that they have them accessible to then give them to students as they find that they have a need.
And the shoes are new shoes, used shoes, or all combined?
Yeah. So through two of our three programs, For Relief and For Every Kid, all of the product that we distribute is always new, whether it's new shoes, new clothing, new accessories, because we know that when people are lacking items, whatever they've experienced, whether it's a house fire, a natural disaster, they're unhoused, they've recently come out of prison, maybe they're in a reentry program. The dignity of having something new is incredible. We do collect both new and used product. The used product for us goes into our program where we provide entrepreneurs with inventory. One of the reasons that we use both new and gently worn product in that program is that we learned in emerging markets there is such a need for a product source that's affordable. And we are able to extend the life of many of the shoes that are donated by a year and a half through repurposing them to be resold. Because many of the markets where our entrepreneurs sell, there's not access to footwear. And if there is, it's incredibly expensive. So when you have a resale program, it's affordable. It's shoes that they can spend money on and go to work in, and nicer shoes too that they can purchase and go to school in. But it's an affordable outlet that also provides our entrepreneurs with a revenue source, and it keeps our shoes out of landfills. We are a zero waste organization. So when people clean out their closets and donate to us, if any of that product cannot be repurposed for our programs that support entrepreneurs, it's actually incinerated into clean energy. And so it is not thrown away. And that's probably between 1% to 2% of what's donated to us. Most of what's donated can actually be reused.
Nice. And how is the process? Okay, you just mentioned about like a family give you shoes, but
Mhm.
how is the process to get new shoes? Do
So new shoes for us. What we do between the two programs I shared, For Every Kid and For Relief, we primarily work through a nonprofit partner on the ground. We don't really do a lot of direct distribution. Like if an individual reaches out, typically we let them know we can't provide to individuals. Um, One of the reasons that we do that is we want there to be a touch point in the community where if they need something beyond shoes, they have a resource.
right,
So we work with trusted nonprofits that do the work in their communities. Whether it's, like I said, whether they're an after school program or they're a disaster relief organization or they work with the unhoused community, we give them a that product to keep and distribute as they need to do it. And for an example, like an organization like yours, you guys were going there and having a very specific program there. You chose that time to distribute the shoes. So we lined that up. For some of our partners in the US, we have homeless shelters who get shoes from us, and they might have a weekly shower program where recipients can come in, they can get a shower, they can pick out a new outfit and footwear. That's one of the ways it's distributed. So we almost are the distribution source. We don't control the programming of how it's done, but we have checks and balances, and we ask our partners, how do you do this? How are you going to utilize this donation? So that we make sure it aligns with our mission as well.
yeah,
And
I
make sure that they have that product to give to
right.
people who need it.
Yes, I remember when I applied to Soles4Souls was an application
Mhm.
and how you say check and balance. We need this.
Yeah.
How do you do that? So many questions you ask and the right questions, and also the proof, right?
Yeah.
How those shoes were given to children in need,
Mhm.
and you request pictures, videos, and it was amazing because it also taught us, right, for future, how can we do it even better for you
Yeah.
guys. So the work that you do is unbelievable. I love it because we went to Venezuela to help so many lives over there, and we want to continue this relationship, Tiffany.
You mentioned just a little while ago, even when you were in Venezuela and you gave away the shoes that we partnered together to provide, how much confidence it gave children and the impact that you could see that it made on kids.
Yes, yes, it was beautiful to see the beautiful smile, and they couldn't believe because they were wearing new shoes and areas that have difficult access.
Yeah.
And you give happiness and hope to these children in Venezuela.
What I love about that, so this week, in Nashville, we had our staff retreat. We had over 70 volunteers participate in an event the morning of October 15th. We served 280 children with a new pair of shoes. And these were kids in our school district here in Nashville who were part of an extended learning program during their fall break. And kids that definitely needed a new pair of shoes. But kids, just like you said, kids just like in Venezuela. And what I loved about what you shared is that experience we had earlier this week, kids came in. We actually hosted it at our arena where our hockey team plays. So it was an experience. Children got a new pair of shoes and socks, and then they went on a tour of the arena. So it was like a field trip. But when I would watch children come in and they knew what was happening, they knew they were getting new shoes, they were skipping in, they were running in, they were sitting and wiggling in their seats. And it happens time after time when a child sits down, because the way we serve them at events is we actually size their little feet, give them, or big feet, give them a shoe sticker, have them sit with an individual who just takes care of them. And they bring over options of shoes and they try them on like you would in a shoe store. And so that child is really, there's focus on that child or adult. There's focus on them. There's time being given. There's conversation. And I see it time after time when a child looks in a shoebox and they find the pair that they connect to. There is a transformative moment that you can see physically where they see the shoes, they fall in love, they put them on. I often just see the posture change, just the body language change. It's not every time. Kids are kids.
Right.
But there is something about making sure that a child has their needs met and their wants met that I think is really important not to forget. And after those shoes have worn out, there's a Maya Angelou quote, that you won't remember what people did or said, but you'll remember how they made you feel. And I think it's in those moments, whether it's in Nashville or Philadelphia or Venezuela, it's not everything. It's not solving every problem in the world. But when we can have a moment where we're providing a resource with dignity and make a child feel seen and loved, it's part of the equation to equip them
You're
and to
giving the
support.
confidence. Yes,
Yeah.
the confidence for them to keep going and with the hope that they
Yes.
also can wear the shoes and also in the future help back the community.
Yes. And it's a circle. And we've got children that have donated shoes to us that are now in college, that are making changes in their adult life. They're going into fields where they're doing more public service. One of our partners in Guatemala just told a story this week. She was here and she said she had a young man stop her one day in Antigua, Guatemala. He was on his moped. And she was like, well, what in the world is this young man stopping me for? And he was like, I remember you gave shoes to me. I'm a big believer in we've got to do what we can with what we have, where we're at.
Right. And we are planting the seeds for
We're
next
planting the
generation.
seeds.
And
Mhm.
it is amazing to have those kind of stories because it's what we want for people to remember and give back to the community they were from.
Yeah. Because if we all stop doing something little, then something big is not going to get done.
Right.
But if we all do our part, no matter what it is, it's like the butterfly effect, Without the butterflies, wings moving, there's so many parts of our environment and atmosphere that wouldn't happen. And it's the same here. If we stop, if we go, this is small and it's not going to make a difference, then it won't. But if we all do that part, it really will make a change.
We really will do. And for the viewers that are listening and watching us, it's so important to support organizations like Soles4Souls and or Del Carmen Foundation to help us making this beautiful difference to children and need. The future generation needs to have confidence in themselves and starts from shoes too, and education, clothing. So it's nice to see. And people, please follow them, soul4souls.org. We will put it here at the bottom. Follow them, comment, share this beautiful message and mission because maybe some of you can get help around the world through Soul4Souls. And we want to continue this relationship, Tiffany, in Philadelphia. and also in Venezuela. Next year, we would like to provide sneakers for children in Venezuela. So our viewers, we need support in shipping to send this to Venezuela. So this is beautiful, and please don't forget to share, because in that way you help us growing and help other people also with this important cause that is shoes for children. Thank you, Tiffany, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Hispanico Group, experts in web design and marketing. Elevate your brand with them today. Firstrust Bank, where personalized service and financial expertise come together to support your aspirations. Pulaski Dental, where your oral health is their top priority. Trust them to help you achieve a healthy and radiant smile. Lasso World, fashion hair accessories designed for all hair types. Beautiful, stylish, and made to last, because you deserve the best. Conversando Contigo, more than a podcast, a place where losses become stories to help us heal. Children's Crisis Treatment Center believes that every child deserves to grow up feeling safe, loved, and emotionally strong. CHOP relentlessly innovates to benefit children and families. CHOP delivers breakthroughs every day. Kommunity, where events, creators, venues, and providers collaborate.